and welcome to Thrift Shop Biography. This is the one about Kris Jenner. Thank you for listening.
Hello, Richard.
Hello, Cleo.
Oh, hi, Richard.
How are you?
Great, are you?
We're too excited to talk this week.
Oh my God, we're so intellectual that the book about Kris Jenner is the one that we're most excited about.
Isn't it weird? Because we've had this for a while. I found it ages ago.
Yeah.
And we just didn't get around to it because we thought it would be some flimsy reality TV thing.
I know.
And we had all these esteemed singers and actors and people we've been reading. And then, okay, we should do Kris Jenner. And it's just like, oh my God, it's brilliant.
Yeah, you open it. I've wasted a lot of time. Yeah, I just could not put this down. Couldn't put it down. It's a page turner.
I know, it really surprised me, isn't it, hey?
I mean, there's obviously a ghostwriter. She left school at 16, right? This is ghostwritten by a genius. It writes like a page turner. It's a whodunit. And, and there's cliffhangers at the end of all you, so you can't put it down. It's like, oh, my marriage is amazing. And then it began to fall apart. And you're like, well, I can't go to bed now. What happened next? Oh, my God. It's such a great read. It's a trashy novel, isn't it? It's just brilliant.
Yeah. It is ghost written, but I imagine, reading between the lines, that her entire life is, ghosted. I think she's got a ghost to do everything for her.
Yeah. She's so haunted.
I think she's very good at delegating. Yeah, she's very good at getting people to do her bidding.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck to her. It works.
Good luck to her. She's made herself a brand. So, to be honest, you could almost imagine executive meetings about this book going, well, what would you think it's important that you should convey this about this marriage and that about that? Mm-hmm. You think, oh, she's guiding you. Sometimes where we totally believe everything someone says, I don't believe the half of the stuff she's saying here.
Oh, this book, I know for a fact that there is stuff that she's not mentioned. She is rewriting history with this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is a see-through...
Yeah, it's like you say, it's a brand.
Devious woman. Yeah, exactly. But you get that. You still get that. She can't hide it enough for you not to sense it.
And also, I think through doing that, I don't think she's entirely painted this wonderful picture of herself. I think she's an idiot in parts of this book.
Yeah, she doesn't come across as well.
And maybe she doesn't realise she's being an idiot, but...
It's true.
And that might be how far removed she is from real life, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, oh my God, we've got so much to talk about.
Were you like me? Before I read this book, I knew who the Kardashians were, of course, because we all know their names at this point. But I didn't really know anything about them.
No.
I've never really watched an episode of their reality show, although since reading this book, I've totally binged the whole first season this week.
Have you?
Yeah.
No way.
I just wanted to see them, and after reading the book and thinking, oh, okay, this book is really interesting, and I didn't really know anything about them. I couldn't really picture them. So I watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and I was completely hooked. It surprised me. I like them. I think they're very funny.
Yes, but again, it's like, what are you being fed here? It's so interesting. I didn't even know how they became famous, the Kardashians, until a few months ago, and I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm going to Google it. And even then, it's sort of, I took from it that Kim Kardashian had a sex tape and that got him into the massive fame.
Yeah.
But that's not the half of it. This is the rise to literally creating them, because she is their mother.
Yeah.
So, and I know all their names. I know all of their names, like Kourtney Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, Kim Kardashian. You know them. When I watched a bit of the program, I can't tell them apart. They're just kind of all beautiful girls with a lot of makeup and lovely hair, and I can't tell them apart.
Oh.
No matter how much I watch, I still think I don't know which one you are. I think I can tell which one Kim is, and the others I just can't. I have no clue.
Oh, that's interesting, because the three older girls, Kourtney, Kim, and Khloe, I think Khloe, who was the third, actually looks quite different. I think she looks like Elvis.
Really?
And do you know, she has been known, because Kim and Kourtney are so entirely stunning and beautiful, And Chloe is like about a foot taller than them. She's got a massive square jaw. And I think she's stunning, but she's kind of been known as the ugly one.
Really?
And she's not ugly by any stretch of the imagination. She really
None of
isn't.
them are ugly.
Now, I thought, I wonder, because I've been watching the first season, which was like in 2007. I mean, that's almost 20 years ago. I thought, I wonder what she looks like now. And do you know what? She's had extensive facial surgery to look like her sisters. And I'm so mad at her.
Oh, no.
She looked like Lisa Marie Presley. She looked like a feminine Elvis.
Oh, no. That's sad.
Yeah, and now she looks like a plastic person.
Oh, yeah, it's not my fault I can't tell them apart because they've actually had surgery to look the same.
Oh, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, now their mum, now Kris Jenner, has had surgery. She looks their age now.
She looks amazing. It's good surgery.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. Yes.
But it's sad. It's much sadder to see it on young, beautiful girls.
Yeah, of course.
You know, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're getting old, if you're in your 60s, 70s, okay. But they're so young and beautiful. Don't. Anyway, yeah, but that's our personal opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. Right, we've got to get into it. Quick. I've got so much more to talk about.
Let's do it. Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner, born in 1955 in San Diego, California. So dad was an engineer of aircraft, so they're good middle to upper class. You know, that's a good job. They got money. And her mum worked. Her family, her parents, had a candle shop, and they were the only candle shop in California, so they were the go-to people for candles.
The only candle shop in California.
Yeah, so they all worked. Everybody worked. A good work ethic. And it was a nice family.
Yeah, and she says they lived in a big, beautiful white house. She's got a nice life. She's been born into a nice lifestyle, hasn't she?
She has. She's got a taste for it. But it's not that glamorous. It's good. It's comfortable. It's pretty nice.
They work for it. The grandparents and the parents, they all work for it.
Yes.
Because she does say they're like upper middle class. But she actually then says in the same paragraph that her granddad was working class, but I think what she means is that they're upper middle class, but they have a strong work ethic within the family.
That's true. In fact, I don't think they call it class in America, do they? Do they?
No, but she calls it class in this book, but it confused me because she literally contradicts herself in the same paragraph. So I just think she means they've got a really strong work ethic. Yeah.
Yeah. Possibly what we might call in Britain nouveau riche.
Nouveau riche.
They've worked for the money, but they've got no actual class. This is in our very classist society that we live in, where we brand people in that way.
Yeah.
Don't we? Anyway, everything was great until her parents got divorced when she was 7. So that was crap. But then her mum bought a T-Bird convertible and got over it. That's the essence of what she's saying. So you can buy things that are pretty with money, and that's how you get past emotional trauma.
Yeah, it's one way of doing it for sure.
Yeah. And she paints this picture of her mum as like a Jackie Kennedy, really well dressed. Even though she didn't have the money as such, she'd have the knockoff version of Jackie Kennedy and pull it off. Tall and beautiful. Yeah, and her grandma was the same.
She says they were all fashion forward.
Yes. Very focused on the surface, you can interpret that as.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I just want to sit down with a cup of tea and talk for hours about what these people mean. What does this mean? You know what I mean? What does it all mean? Oh, my God.
In a way, they're kind of a new phenomenon. They came when reality TV exploded, and I think a lot of people don't understand them and also don't credit them as being worth anything because they don't understand the field of reality TV and celebrity.
Yes.
You know, our post-millennium, there's this whole new arena for people to play in and make extreme amounts of money, and the Kardashians really harness that. But if you don't understand that, you just think they're these stupid airheads who don't do anything.
Yes.
And to be quite honest with you, it's quite hard for me to... This book is a learning curve because I'm having to understand what they actually do. But they're actually very busy all the time.
They're really busy people.
You don't make billions of dollars doing nothing.
No, that's right. Not just chatting on TV. They're really, really working. Anyway, this is the background. This is the background to how they all came about. Yeah, that's why it's a page turner, because you know what's coming. They're not even born yet, you know. Anyway, so her mum married Harry Shannon, who was a yacht broker, and she paints this picture of him like he looked like a Ralph Lauren ad. A yacht broker, I mean, that's mixing with the rich, isn't it? But he was an alcoholic, so he was a right load of trouble. So she was like, right, it's either me or the booze. So he gave up the booze. And so that's her new dad. And he sounds really nice. I mean, she called him dad. That was her dad right to the end of his life.
Yeah, her dad, her actual biological dad, gets a job on the other side of the country. So whereas when the divorce initially happened, they were in touch with him, but then he just got stationed on the other side of the country. So she never really saw him. So this new guy, Harry, is the father figure in her life. And then he says, right, we're going to California to harvest abalone. Abalone? Have you ever heard of this?
Abalone, don't know. Sea snails. I just call it sea snails. It's gross. I got the idea that it's a big, gross, fat sea snail and it's like a big, muscly blob and people will eat them. But yeah, he got totally ripped off by his mate, didn't he? So they came back broke.
So they went all the way home again.
Yeah, and he started again. Now, this is what we would call a chav thing. He got really into putting stripes on cars.
Go faster, stripes.
And he made a lot of money doing that. And he's getting into car rental. Anyway, she just watches him and learns that if you could keep reinventing yourself and just keep working, you can build yourself up from nothing. That was her big lesson. And he did it over and over again.
Yeah, and then her grandma's candle shop, the Candelabra, is so successful that they open another candle shop a few streets away and her mum runs that. So she's also seeing her mum kind of being a businesswoman with a shop and stuff as well.
Yeah, and then she's working at it since she was a kid and she's working at a donut shop. She's just working all the time as well.
Yeah, they make use of her.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, I guess she's getting money as well to buy clothes and stuff. But she wasn't even interested in graduation. She wasn't really interested in ordinary boyfriends. She wanted an older man. She wanted to leave school. She left school at 16. And she said her whole life's dream was to have 6 kids, get married and have 6 kids.
Yeah. Is that normal?
No, 6? No, it's not, is it? It's a lot of kids.
Yeah, I think it's a lot.
It's a lot. But you know what? About 2/3 of the way through this book, because she goes on and on about her dream of being married with 6 kids all the way through, doesn't she? About 2/3 of the way through this book, she goes, and my big dream, my dream that I've had since for all my life was to have my own TV show.
Well, maybe it was to have a TV show about her 6 kids.
But yeah, no... You're like, well, why, if that was your other dream, why didn't you mention that until now? You know, because it totally clouds what I think about all her other choices, like the people she went after. Like so her first boyfriend after she's left school when she's 17 was this professional golfer who was 12 years older than her. So it's not like she fell in love. She fell in love with the glamorous life because he could take her all around the world, Japan, Scotland, London, Mexico. You know, she just flew everywhere, went to these really glamorous dudes, cocktail parties, met the famous people.
Do you know this isn't his real name? She calls him Anthony in the book.
I would say, oh, who is it? But I don't care. Some golfer.
No, I Googled it. Yeah, it's just some golfer. But I think that's interesting. She's choosing what to tell us. She's creating her own history. She does it quite a bit in this book.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what? But then when I was Googling stuff, some information is quite hard to find, and I wouldn't put it past them to have paid for stuff to be erased from the internet.
That's true. They've got the money, haven't they?
She's so careful about her brand. Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, that's what I mean. If your whole plan is to marry and have kids, is it more the TV show? Because you're going after fame and glamour.
Yeah.
You know, very clearly.
I mean, if you want to get married and have 6 kids, I guess part of that is to have a husband who is secure and has a lot of money.
Oh, that's true.
So that's why she's going for these glamorous men who can support her and her 6 kids, you know.
That's very true.
So yeah, she's with this golfer and she's going all over the world having a great time. She's, 17, 18 while she's seeing this guy. And then one day she meets a man called Robert Kardashian.
Yeah, she does.
Where are they? At the races?
They're at the races. I'm thinking it sounds a bit like Ascot in Britain, you know, like really, really posh. The Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. All the wealthy and the high society are at, and it's on once a year. She's wearing a necklace that spells out the words, oh shit.
Well, that's not very classy.
No, it's a weird thing to wear. A really, really classy high society do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bizarre. And when she meets Robert Kardashian, he says, nice necklace.
And he's really taken with Kris from the moment he meets her, and he pursues her quite heavily, doesn't he? I mean, it's borderline stalking.
Yeah.
I mean, it is stalking, really.
Yeah, because she won't even give him her number. And he tracks it down, someone from the phone company.
Yeah.
And she's living with the pro golfer, and then they're engaged.
Yeah.
And he's phoning her about twice a week for months.
For months, he is not giving up. And we should also say at this point that he is a good 10 years older than her. She's still a teenager.
Yes.
And so Robert Kardashian is like 10 years older than her. And then they meet again, don't they?
Well, he's tracked her down to some golf tournament.
So she's at the golf tournament with the guy she's engaged to.
Yeah.
And then Robert Kardashian finds out she's going to be there and he goes and meets her again.
Yep. Crops up.
And she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, I'm stalking you, obviously.
Yeah. Absolutely. He's not taking no for an answer. It must be very flattering. Eventually, she says, all right, fly to San Diego and I'll go on a date with you. And he does.
I mean, look, listen, you say it's flattering. It's only flattering because he's good looking and he's got money.
Yeah, that's right.
If there was a man you weren't interested in who was stalking you for months and just turning up in places, you'd call the police.
Yes, I would.
This is not good behaviour. This is a red flag.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And she did say he intimidated me a little bit.
Yeah, she does say that.
And to be honest, they don't even know each other. But they're getting to know each other on the phone, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he flies for this date and they end up back at her house. Well, it's not her house, it's the golfer's house. They end up upstairs
Oh
in the
my
bedroom.
God, she's an idiot already.
She's an idiot, but this is exactly why.
She's in the house that she shares with the golfer and she's taken Robert Kardashian back there.
Yeah, no. But this is why it's a page turner. It's a trashy Jackie Collins novel, isn't it? Because you're like, oh no, what happens now?
Of course.
Oh no, he's come home.
He's come home and catches them.
Yeah, oh no, and then there's a fight. And then Robert Kardashian gets the car and drives off because he's not a fighter. And then he comes after it. Oh my God. There's just so many car chases in this book. This is a film. She's trying to write a film script, isn't she? This would be a great film.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have the Netflix series at some point, the Kardashian story.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And they'll all play themselves because they're plastic surgery into the past. So they all look their original age. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So she stays with the golfer, right? She only breaks up with him because she catches him in bed with someone else.
Well, who can blame him at this point? But
Exactly. It's this sort of stuff that makes him not the most worthy people of our respect.
oh no, I know, and this continues throughout the book.
See, well, she treats him really badly as well, Robert Kardashian. She says, no, I'm going to leave him, but I'll just go on this trip to Europe because she wants to go on the trip to Europe. And I'll leave him during the trip. And he said, well, I want you to come to this really important party. It's really, really important to me that you're with me, that you're my date on my arm at my big important do. She promises. And then she's having such a good time in Europe with this golfer. She not only doesn't turn up and they're going to meet at the airport, so he's waiting for her at an airport, but she doesn't even have the balls to let him know.
Yeah.
So he's waiting. She doesn't turn up. And it says he cried all the way back to his house. She's treating him really badly.
I know, but don't feel sorry for him. He's like a 30-year-old who stalked a teenager for a year. No, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
It's not like...
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He could cry all he wants. Boo-hoo. But no, she's a real mercenary. Like, she knew she was splitting up with a golfer before she went on the trip to Europe.
Yeah.
But she wanted the trip to Europe.
It's really true. She wants the glamorous life. Yeah. That's what she wants.
So she splits up with Anthony, doesn't she? Because she finds him with this other woman.
Yes. And then she immediately phones Robert, go, all right, I'm free now. I'm coming over. She goes over to LA.
He comes to pick her up.
Yeah, oh yeah, with O.J. Simpson. Because that's his best friend.
Best friends with O.J. Simpson.
I mean, I've had to do a lot of learning about O.J. Simpson because he's not on my radar as much as he would be if you're an American citizen. Because he's a legend of America, isn't he?
At the time, possibly like their David Beckham, yeah. Like massively famous sports person. Who also then went into, like, he was in the Naked Gun films and stuff.
Yeah,
he was a really loved celebrity, yeah.
Yeah, and because I watched a programme about him a while ago, actually, by coincidence. He was a total hero. He was a real wholesome, trustworthy family man, lovable, like legend you could look up to and aspire to be.
And let's not lose sight of the fact that he's also a black man. So actually, for someone like that to be elevated to that hero status in America, at that time,
massive hero.
Yeah, so actually to have him as your best friend, that's amazing. Robert Kardashian's friend is O.J. Simpson. I mean, who wouldn't want to hang out with that guy at that time?
Yeah.
Everybody loved him.
So she was going, wow, it's O.J. Simpson and trying to play it cool. Yeah. So, she meets him. Then she meets his whole family, I think on the first date. And the third date, he asked her to marry him.
Yeah.
And she says no, because she was engaged to that golfer and it's all a bit quick. And he's absolutely gutted because he's completely sure that she's the woman for him. And he can't believe that she isn't as certain as he is.
Her words are, he was angry and took serious issue with me for declining his marriage proposal.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? It's a long time coming for him because he's been stalking her for a year, whereas she's literally just come out of this other, well, kind of is still in this other relationship. Well, she's just broke it off. But
yes, that's right. She's way less bothered.
it is too soon for her. But
It is.
yeah.
So she says, no, and I've got to look after my interests. I'm going to go out and get work. And she becomes a flight attendant for American Airlines.
Yeah, now this is a part of the book where I thought good for her, actually. She's got her head screwed on.
I thought that.
She's still, what is she, 19? And she's kind of thinking, no, I'm not going to go from one man to another man straight away. I'm going to go and I'm going to build a life for myself. I'm going to give myself security. And she does. She becomes a flight attendant with American Airlines.
Yeah.
And Robert Kardashian is not happy about it at all. He's really taken the refusal personally, of course, because he's an older rich man. Why would a 19-year-old who he could offer this fantastic life to, why would she not just jump at the chance?
Yes.
Anyway, she doesn't, and he
So
gets
what
really
does he
angry.
do?
What does he do? He goes and dates somebody else.
Who?
That very famous ex-wife, Priscilla Presley.
Priscilla Presley. How, I mean, that is a hell of a comeback, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you've refused me, so I'm going to go out with Priscilla Presley. Oh, my God. She's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And how do I get past that? Because how can you compete with Priscilla Presley? She's absolutely stunning. You know, she's Elvis's ex. And then he actually moved in with her and Lisa Marie. So that's where the crossover is to our other book that we read, Lisa Marie's book, and all these men coming in and out of her mum's life.
Oh, one of them's Robert Kardashian.
One of them's Robert Kardashian, which is weird because they actually moved in together. It's also weird because before we read Lisa Marie's book, Priscilla paints this picture of her life where she pretty much only went out with like her kung fu instructor or something after Elvis. And other than that, she's pretty much a nun and always in love with Elvis. She just never, ever told the truth about all these blokes coming in and out of her life when she had a kid. So this is just another one of them we now know. Because we now know the truth.
So Kris Jenner is kind of thinking, oh, darn it, you know, now he's with Priscilla Presley.
Yeah.
But she's being an air hostess and they station her in New York City. And she's really upset about that because she's on the other side of the country. To everybody she knows, she thought she'd be stationed in LA. Actually, it turns out nobody is stationed in LA because everybody wants to be stationed in LA. So you don't get it until you've been an air attendant for like 10 years. Anyway, she starts phoning Robert again and they become telephone friends. Every night, she says, they're on the phone to each other.
Yeah, so they're getting to know each other. Yeah.
So he's dating Priscilla Presley, but still calling Kris Jenner.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they're all dodgy. Really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think sometimes it's that thing where you're almost status dating.
Right. That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, where you keep your options open and...
That's what their whole world seems to be about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's in New York. She's upset, but Robert Kardashian is like, well, I'm going to the Olympics in Montreal with O.J. Simpson. This is 1976. And then afterwards, O.J.'s got a job with ABC, which is in New York. So we'll be able to hang out and see each other. You know what else happens in the 1976 Olympics, don't you?
Yes, I do. Bruce Jenner won gold.
He won gold.
And became another American hero.
Yeah.
What did he win gold for? Was it a triathlon? Or running or something. He broke some records. Yeah.
Something Olympian. Yeah, he broke the world record in whatever he does. She does.
Yeah. No, because when it was Bruce, we could say he. Because he's still Bruce at this point.
Oh, listen, because it's such a sensitive issue about dead naming trans people, I do just want to say publicly that I'm very conscious of this. And I went online and I looked up Caitlyn Jenner. And Caitlyn Jenner says it's okay to refer to her as Bruce if you're talking about her past achievements.
I did the same.
So
I did the same.
I know not all trans people like dead naming, obviously, and I understand why. But for this particular person we're talking about, Caitlin says
Yeah.
we can refer to her in the past as Bruce if she was Bruce at the time, and that's what we're going to do.
Yes, and as soon as she's Caitlin, she's she. Anyway, carry on.
So she's currently living in an apartment with 4 other flight attendants in New York City, and she's wanting to get transferred to Los Angeles, and everybody's saying to her, you're never going to get transferred to Los Angeles. And then she does. Her transfer is granted. So she goes back to LA. I kind of wondered if Robert Kardashian had anything to do with that. You know, money talks, right?
Oh, yes, and he's an attorney and he knew everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or O.J. Simpson may have called somebody up. He's the most famous man in America. I kind of wondered.
Oh, my God, you're right.
I mean, she might not even know that.
Because it never
happens. Nobody ever gets transferred, but she did.
She thinks it's because she lit a lot of candles.
She's a brand new flight attendant. Now, why would they transfer her? It doesn't make any sense.
Because she prayed with candles. That's why. Oh, talking of which, oh my God, so surreal. Her and Robert Kardashian go to Bible study at Pat Boone's house.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh.
what? And all the other famous people were there, like Zsa Zsa Gabor. Zsa Zsa Gabor
Amazing.
went to Bible study.
She's a Christian. What do you mean? She lives a very virtuous life.
She did not live by those morals. Oh my God. Yeah, Doris
Day and Priscilla Presley.
Yeah.
That's an amazing Christian study group.
It's amazing.
We need to read a book about that.
Yeah. It's amazing.
No, she says that Robert's family are all very devoted Christians.
Yeah.
And then, so at this point, when she went to LA, she actually moved in with Robert, right?
Yes.
And then, weirdly, Kris Jenner becomes a born-again Christian, and then Robert decides that she should move out because it's against God's plan for them to live together.
Yes.
And then not long after that, he decides it's not a good idea for them to have sex anymore. So, but if he comes from a family of devoted Christians, he should have known that before.
Yes, he should. But Pat Boone tipped him over the edge. Maybe it's through the power
Damn
of song.
Pat Boone, that cock blocker.
Cock blocker. Okay, now it's 1978, and this is how much Kris Jenner is right at the beginning of the O.J. Simpson and Nicole drama, because they're round at his house and he says, look, can you please phone this number? It's this beautiful girl I've met called Nicole. She's only 18 and she lives with her parents. And if I phone, they won't put her on the phone to me. So will you phone and ask to speak to Nicole and then pass me the phone? So she's there at she makes the first call to get them together, even though OJ's married and she doesn't approve. She's there at the beginning and she's there right at the very end. Oh, what a story.
Also, we should say that OJ is 30 and Nicole is 18. So again, like Kris and Robert, there's a good decade age gap here.
Yes, this is why they're best friends. I mean, they're absolutely best friends. Yeah, so...
They got married. Robert and Kris got married.
They got married. They bloody got married. Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah, but she's still an air hostess at this point, right?
Yes, that's right.
And then they go on their honeymoon, and then work phone up Kris Jenner and say, what are you doing? Are you not coming back to work? Because they've had such a nice time on their honeymoon. They're staying there a bit longer. And then all of a sudden, this amazing career that Kris Jenner was very, very sure and certain that she was going to create and provide for herself. Now she's on her honeymoon and she's like, oh yeah, I'm not coming back to work. I can get on with my dream of being a wife and mother.
That's
now.
right. And she doesn't even phone him to tell him. She just doesn't turn up.
Yeah, so she just says, my life has changed. Which is a real 180, actually.
It is.
You know, we know now, because of how she is now, that she's a very astute and motivated businesswoman.
Yeah, so maybe that whole thing was to secure him.
Yeah, but she has this dream of having 6 kids, and I guess she's got the guy that she can do that with. So now everything else can just be put on hold.
Yeah.
Because I guess, what is this, 1978? I guess you can't really be a businesswoman and have 6 kids in 1978. You have to become the housewife,
Well,
maybe.
especially having 6 kids, yeah. So she's like 23 now. So she probably just wanted a few years to have a little bit of a life before she knew she had to stop to have all these kids. I don't know, but she did it. She worked it.
And 9 months after the honeymoon, they have a little baby called Kourtney Kardashian.
Yeah.
Kourtney with a K.
Yeah. And when I was reading this, I was thinking, yeah, me and Richard always just go, yeah, they had some kids, blah, blah, whatever. and we always don't care. And this time I thought it's really funny because I bet we're both going, oh, Kourtney Kardashian. Oh, this one's going to be Kim Kardashian. And we actually, like, you can't, like, because she knocked out all these famous kids.
Yeah.
Because she made them all famous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. And, you know, it also reminds me of people like Agassi. His parents were knocking out kids to try and make them into legendary tennis players. We come across this a few times where these parents have got dreams for their kids, but you can't make them all into virtuoso musicians or virtuoso, you know, because they have to have that little extra pizzazz, whereas you can just make people famous if you put a reality TV show on in your house. So she's succeeded in making 6 people mega famous, all 6 kids.
In a way, that would you not say that the Osmonds and the Jacksons kind of did the same thing?
Oh, yes! That's the same thing. Those are parallels as well.
And in a way, the Kardashians are the Osmonds and the Jacksons of the reality TV celebrity world, aren't they?
Yes, you're completely correct. I did think that. But they've got skills. That's the difference. They've actually got skills.
They're the skills you need to be a famous Instagram person, which is fine.
Do you know what? That is also true.
Yeah, but in all fairness, Kardashians didn't know when they were popping these children out that they were going to have a reality TV show in 20 years' time, because it wasn't really a thing at that point. She just wanted the children. She wanted a big family.
She did just want the children. Yeah, she did. But it's so weird because when they grew up and started leaving, there's one sentence where she said, I absolutely was not ready for my children to leave. That wasn't in my plan. And I did start thinking, what do I do to keep them here? I've got to do something to keep them around me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like people who have kids, but it's sort of selfish. You know, they don't want them to grow up and leave and have a great independent lives. They want them for them. They want to keep them. She didn't know how, but she knew she wanted to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? So interesting.
Well, she's done it. She has kind of kept them all together because they all need each other if they want to continue with their fame and fortune, because they are a group. They are the Kardashians.
Yeah.
So they kind of need each other. They need to remain, like if one of them left, it would be like somebody leaving the Jacksons or the Osmonds.
Yeah. I'm sure they're all massively damaged now, so there's not far they could even go as well because they're so famous and damaged and anxious. I read up on them. There's a lot of anxiety because of having people stare at them and cameras on you all the time for 20 years.
Oh, do you know what? When I was watching the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, there's 2 younger girls, the Jenner girls, Kylie and the other one. Kendall.
Yeah.
And I kind of think, okay, the other girls are older. They can consent to being in this show. But actually, those younger ones can't. I know that Kendall or Kylie...
Yeah, they were 9 and 10 or something.
Yeah, I know that one of them is the world's first self-made billionaire or something. But, you know, I guess that weighs heavy on your head. Anyway, they're not even born yet. We're still in 1980, and they have their second daughter, who was a girl called Kimberly.
Kim, yes.
Another K.
Yes.
So Kris is 24 and she's got 2 babies and she's hanging out with Nicole, and she says Nicole and OJ are completely besotted with each other, and the 4 of them, Robert and Kris and Nicole and OJ, are pretty much a foursome and they go out with each other a lot.
But he's already really domineering and like, you know, he can't bear it if she even goes to the toilet. He wants to know where she is. And I think she clocks all this behaviour all the way through this book, because I think for herself, she feels so guilty that she didn't realise that her very best friend was being abused for 17 years of domestic abuse, that she's clocking all the things that she actually did realise were happening at the time but didn't really understand.
I also think that us on the outside looking in can see the massive power imbalance between OJ and Nicole.
Yeah.
When they met, Nicole was 18, OJ was 30. OJ is very famous. I mean, he's very tall, he's very strong, he's very rich. Everybody loves him. Nicole is an 18-year-old. Right, the power, there is basically the power on OJ's side is 100 and it's 0 for Nicole. It's not a good basis for any relationship. But actually, Kris and Robert, if you look at that, there's a massive power imbalance there as well, because he's older, hugely successful, very rich, and she's given up everything to go and live in his house and have his children. So I think because Kris is in a relationship with an extreme power imbalance, she doesn't recognize the one in Nicole and OJ as well.
Yes, she can't see it.
I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I mean in hindsight, yeah. But she said that Nicole had discovered OJ's infidelities, so she became withdrawn, and she knew that he beat her occasionally. So I'm sure she just put that all down to them fighting about his infidelities and therefore didn't look any deeper into it, I'm guessing.
So there's a bit in this book which I think is so funny, and this really tells us, Kris Jenner has this dream of being the perfect wife and mother. This actually illustrates her dream to us, right? Because she says, so from 1980 to 1983, she's got Kimberly and Courtney. And she says, my life was all about being the perfect wife and mother, living out my life's dream. She goes, we had amazing people working for us. I made breakfast for the babies. I played tennis with my friends. I met friends for lunch. I went shopping. It's like, wow, that is not being a mother, is it? And she says, and then I would come home and play with the babies. It's just like, okay,
I know.
This was your dream of being a wife and mother. It's basically So they had nannies and stuff. Of course
hanging out there, just hello on your way out.
So her dream of having 6 babies, of course, now we realise she wanted a rich man so her 6 babies could have nannies looking after them.
Yes. She wanted the high life, she wanted the glamorous life. And that's why it's society that is so important, that you're mixing with the right people. And that's why it's so bad when she really messed up, what she's about to do right now, because she's 30. She's had 4 kids.
She's had Chloe. Oh, and so Chloe with a K, and then Robert, who doesn't. I feel a bit sorry for Robert, because obviously he's the only boy child.
Yeah, he feels a bit left out.
They haven't given him a name that begins with K, which seems very unfair. Everybody's a K.
He could have been Carl.
He could have been Cobbett.
Cobbett.
So he's Robert, named after his dad. Like all Americans do that, don't they?
All of them.
But Robert Senior, dad, is a complete workaholic, which he kind of has to be because he's now supporting 4 kids in this big house and all the staff.
And a wife's lifestyle.
Shopping.
Yeah, and shopping. Bloody hell. You can only imagine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also at the same time, like Nicole's having babies as well. So I guess she's also got nannies. And Nicole is going with Kris shopping and for lunch.
Of course they do.
And they have boob jobs and stuff,
Oh,
yes. Life, isn't it?
Oh, my God, it's a total Hollywood life. And she gets bored of it because the passion's gone. She's been married. She's 30 now. She's been married since she was 18 or something.
Yeah.
She keeps going, I was so young. I didn't understand that relationship developed like that. I was like, you're 30. It's not that young. All you do all day is sit around and talk with cocktails. Well, you must know,
But also, I was really trying to be fair to her here, thinking, okay, she's 30. Her husband is a workaholic. And she says, I was craving passion. So Robert Kardashian, he pursued her so relentlessly when she was a teenager. And I guess now she's had 4 kids. He's not that interested in her anymore. I don't know. But, and again, she's 30. These men who like teenagers probably aren't as attracted to their 30-year-old wives anymore.
Well, yeah, I kept going back and forth with it because she did say we went on a ski trip and I found it very difficult to be intimate with Robert when that's what he wanted.
Right, okay.
And I found that very difficult. So I'm like, it might not be how it was when you first met, but basically she's a bored, rich housewife who got a boob job, felt a bit perky and wanted to have an affair. And so she did. And it was like really, really sexual. This a Rob Lowe lookalike who looked so like Rob Lowe, she thought it was him. A beautiful young man. He's 22. She said it was so passionate. We had sex everywhere, like in the in the swimming pool, in the toilets. It was one of those, like everywhere. You're literally living a fantasy life, making up for all of that lost time. Yeah, you've got 4 kids at home, and I do understand it.
But also, she's not very discreet with it, and it's kind of like because she's kind of becoming obsessed with him. She's having this wonderful, sexy fling. She is a bored housewife, and when she's in bed with Robert, she'll go downstairs to call Ryan.
Yeah,
it's just like she's playing with fire.
She is.
Robert then obviously gets the idea that something's going on because she's not being discreet.
I know.
She's being silly.
I know. And then she says she wants to separate and just have a bit of time apart. She just needed to have a massive fling. This is what happens with people who have too much money. You got too much time to think about it.
Yeah, right.
If she was literally trying to bring up those 4 kids, she wouldn't have the energy. She just literally wouldn't have it in her.
And then Robert follows her. I mean, it's unclear whether he follows her or hires a private detective or whatever, but he finds out that she's having this affair and she takes Ryan back to their house, and then Robert comes home and finds them together. They have a massive row, and after the row, what does Kris Jenner do? That afternoon, she goes to Ryan's house to see him, and Robert follows her and catches her twice in one day.
It's ridiculous.
It's just like, oh, Kris Jenner, you're a nut. It's just, she's kind of a bit out of control.
She's out of control. She actually says it was like she was on drugs. She was addicted to this bloke. She says she's lost her mind. This is what I mean. You don't know. But I do feel for her a bit. She was having some sort of midlife crisis breakdown. Well, that's how she paints it anyway.
I also think this could be a reaction to the power imbalance. You know, she's had no power.
Possibly.
And now she's 30 and she's got 4 kids with this man. She probably feels like she's gained a bit of power now. And this is her way of having some control, is actually shagging somebody 10 years younger. I don't know. It's just, or maybe it's just much more basic than that. Maybe it was just a sexual need that she needed to fulfill. Who knows? But
it could be, yeah. And once you've been so loved and pursued.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, she says, a friend said to her, don't get divorced, you'll regret it. And then she says, she was right, of course, but I couldn't see it then. I was thinking, but as you write this book, you're telling us that you're happily married to the love of your life, Bruce Jenner. And you're saying here, I shouldn't have got divorced because he was the love of my life. This book is a love letter to Robert Kardashian, whilst she's also saying that her marriage is perfect with Bruce Jenner. It's like, if I was Bruce Jenner, I'd be like, I'm not that happy about this book.
Well, I imagine that Kris Jenner's not so happy about things which happen with Bruce later on, so maybe it's...
I know, exactly, yeah. But she really, really talks about Robert like he's absolutely really was the one.
Yeah, now I really got the same vibe as you from this book, and I don't know if this is a spoiler alert, but Robert Kardashian does die. And I think when somebody's died, you have a different opinion of them. It's kind of like all the bad things and the hate you might have harbored kind of just disappears. They become a bit of an angel. He's a father to her 4 children. And I think she looks at him now more romantically than she might have done had he still been alive.
Maybe, but in that whole O.J. Simpson trial, when he completely stood by O.J., she also publishes the letter in this book that Robert wrote to her, and then she'd written one back to him. So that was before he died. It was so full of love, and that you're the one, you mean so much, you've changed my whole life, you're so special. You know, and she publishes those letters.
And she does actually say, you're right, I mean, you've already mentioned it, but to your point, she does say that if Robert had just let her just go and blow some steam off for a couple of weeks, she wouldn't have pursued Ryan in the same way, and that wouldn't have ended up in a divorce, and she probably would have still been married to Robert.
Yeah.
But it's a big ask, actually, to say, let me go and shag somebody else for 2 weeks in our loving marriage. Do you know what I mean? But
Yes, definitely.
But maybe it would work for a lot of other marriages as well. Who are we to say? Do you know what I mean?
But the other thing is, maybe it wouldn't have worked. She'd have got just addicted to him, thinking it would be a little fling, but I think this would have all panned out. I genuinely think that she was getting what she thought she wanted, and it wasn't as exciting as she expected. And all she could see ahead of her was more of the same, and she needed to shake it up. And in a way, not in a way, she did shake it up, and the consequence is we're now talking about her, you know. So she actually achieved what she wanted. She didn't know how to do it, but she did it. She just instinctively did it. She got rid of that, pursued something else, and got where she really wanted to be with her own TV show. It wasn't going to happen in that life, in the one she was in.
I don't know, but I think the key to her TV show is her and the girls, isn't it? Like the husbands are kind of like just a sideline in the...
Yeah, I know what you mean, but what really shot her into the stratosphere was Bruce Jenner, and it was a celebrity coupling.
Right, yeah.
So she, you know, by chucking away Robert Kardashian, who's a lovely, beautiful, brilliant father, stable, loved her, would never have let her down, she got a celebrity... And she got the fame she was actually craving. And that was the excitement she wanted.
So she divorces Robert. He leaves her with no money. He cancels all the credit cards, which, you know, that's the position. She gave up her job to be with him.
Yeah.
So she's kind of created this situation herself. But then, of course, they take that to court and she gets money to feed the kids, of course, because that's what happens. And then she finds out that this kid Ryan Rob Lowe lookalike is cheating on her.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, God, Kris, you had like the perfect life and you have fucked it up.
Totally and utterly, yeah.
So she's 32 and she's massively fucked her life up.
Yes, she's having a bit of a breakdown. She's crying every single day. She can't keep it together. Yeah, and she's over dating for 2 minutes. And then somebody says, a friend, oh, you've got to meet this bloke, Bruce Jenner. He's got 4 kids as well. You're going to get on so well. She's like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. And when they meet, Bruce Jenner comes up to her and lifts her off her feet and says, oh, it's so great to meet you. We've both got 4 kids. It's perfect. It just literally sweeps her off her feet, basically, doesn't he? He goes, oh, I'm going to Florida. I'll get you a ticket. I'll go speedboat racing and I'm in a celebrity golf tournament and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And he's got major celebrity friends. I did not know this. Bruce Jenner's celebrity friends are in another level. Like, he takes her to a cocktail party with Ronald and Nancy Reagan. He's friends with Ethel Kennedy and they go to the Hyannis Port, which we read all about in Arnold Schwarzenegger's book. And everyone loves him. It's like everyone who's ever met him for 5 minutes loves him. And he's got this amazing circle of friends and an amazing life.
Do you know what's interesting about this whole thing and talking in terms of careers? And that she had this career, but then almost like Robert Kardashian was almost like her dream of being a mother and having 6 kids is almost like a career choice because that's how she was getting her lifestyle funded.
Yeah.
Anyway, when her friend phones up and says, oh, you need to meet Bruce Jenner, her friend says he's not dating anyone. It's perfect timing. And it's just like, actually, when you think about it, Kris Jenner's just got divorced, has broken up with her 22-year-old lover.
Yeah.
She's a mess. It's not perfect timing at all. She needs to take time off to find herself and look after her kids.
Yeah.
But the women in this class of society, they're talking about it like it's a job. You know, if you lost one job and the new job didn't turn out and you got offered another job, that would be perfect timing.
Yes.
Finding another husband immediately after the car crash of your life is not perfect timing, but that's how they talk about it.
Yeah, that's so true.
And 7 months after meeting, they are married.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, don't even waste any time in sorting your life out and coming to terms with what's just happened with the father of your children.
Yeah, I know.
And I think Robert Kardashian might have even thought he was getting her back at some point.
Yeah.
And 7 months later, she's married to an Olympic hero.
Yeah, it's right. Because she describes like one of the worst moments of her life is having to introduce Robert Kardashian to her 5th child, whose father is Bruce Jenner, because she's moved on.
That's just another passage in the love story between Kris and Robert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because she never describes Bruce's reaction to seeing his kids, where she describes Robert's to seeing all of them. It is true. She loves him much more.
Yeah, she does. She's totally in love with Robert Kardashian all the way throughout this.
She is. There's so much underlying here because when this book was published, it was 2 years before her and Bruce Jenner split up. And he took himself off and turned into Caitlyn Jenner. But she carefully says that Bruce is the perfect man, the love of her life. It's a perfect marriage. But if you watch enough stuff, you'll find out that they were arguing quite badly for the last 2 years of their marriage. And you just think, you have to read through the lines. Like, Bruce was all of this marriage, knew that he needed to be a woman. I've watched interviews with Caitlyn where she says, I was kind of checked out. You know, I just went along with everything, but I wasn't really there because I wasn't in the right body. And when you know that, you read this differently because, like, Kris says, oh, Bruce kept his medal in the sock drawer. I took it out, framed it, put it on his office as a motivational thing. This is who you are. You're this champion. And his clothes were terrible. I got this stylist, thank God, to give me clothes. I thought, yeah, because he's checked out. Because this isn't who he is. He isn't this gold medal champion. He doesn't give a shit about these men's clothes. Doesn't care because he's a woman. She needs to be a woman, you know, and he's just going through all this stuff. She goes, oh, he's so easygoing. I said, do you want to do this? And he'll always go, oh, yeah, okay. And you're like, he's not easygoing. He's checked out. I don't even understand why he got into this in the first place.
It's very interesting that you say that. I think he had no choice. I think that he was hiding something that wasn't necessarily accepted in the world that he was in. He was a top-level sportsman. And I think he was having a very quiet life. And actually, now you've said that, just thinking back, I've just watched the first season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's almost like he's not there. He's so in the background.
No,
but he's
that's
so
right.
low key. And actually, everything you've just said makes total sense. He has checked out. He's going through the motions, and he probably didn't want to be this public with anything because he knew at some point he would hopefully become the person he wants to be.
Maybe, yeah.
But what is very interesting now with hindsight, the second episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, he's left a lot to look after the two younger girls while the older girls and Kris are off being celebrities. And there's one scene where he takes Kylie and Kendall to the nail salon and they're getting pedicures and manicures. And he kind of looks at the camera and says, oh, God, the things I have to do to being a dad to two girls while he's getting his nails done. And it's kind of like, yeah,
no
Caitlin,
way.
we know you love it, really.
Oh. It's such a juxtaposition.
Yeah, I felt for that person watching it, knowing how it all ends out. That's not an easy road that she had to go through.
Either of them. And I think, well, he does come across as a lovely father, you know.
It seems from watching the TV show that he's basically a babysitter for those. Well, actually, he's a father to those young girls.
Because he does also talk about being the carpool person. Oh my God, I think he just used to get used and pushed around.
I do.
I think she
I
just
do, I
said,
totally
can you do
do.
this? Can you do that? Can you mow the lawn? Can
Yeah.
you take the kids? Can you? And he did it all. The picture she paints, it's like she doesn't really need him. She needed his status. She needed access into the society. She needed two more kids.
Yeah. Oh, I think. Look, there's lots to unpack with Bruce Jenner and Caitlyn
There's
Jenner.
so much. Also, I've heard Caitlyn Jenner say that he talked to Kris about his need to be a woman. He needed to be that person sometimes, dress up as that person. And she'd agreed that as long as it was never when they were a couple, it was only when he was away.
Where have you got this information?
By watching an interview with Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, okay.
But she absolutely denies that she knew anything about it.
Yes.
So who do you believe? I don't know.
I think there's a lot of denial when it comes to things like this.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe she's so self-absorbed and wrapped up in herself and her daughters. Like, she really pushed Bruce to the background. He was a glorified driver. Maybe she wasn't paying that much attention to him.
No, possible. Yeah.
So Kris is really masterminding Bruce's career, and he's being a public speaker everywhere. And then they get the opportunity for advertising, and Bruce does an infomercial for sunglasses, which goes really well. And then they start doing fitness equipment. And Kris, for the first time, is in the infomercial. And have you seen it's on? You can look at it on YouTube.
I watched
They're both
it.
on these,
yeah,
like...
they're both fit. You expect him to be fit, but she's fit too. I guess she's playing tennis all day.
Yeah, right. And so they're really successful, and they run for years, and they make themselves a lot of money.
And famous.
Yeah. So Kris is now becoming publicly known.
Yes, she is.
So she's still hanging out with Nicole Brown, and she gets that there is some kind of domestic violence going on with OJ. He's certainly not treating her very nicely. And then actually Nicole says to Kris Jenner one day, he's going to kill me and he's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Oh, then actually because Nicole divorces OJ, which of course is the biggest affront to a man like that. Why on earth would you ever leave him? It emasculates him in public, and he goes mad. And he becomes a bit obsessed with her.
But it's completely on-off. It's on-off for years because he's beating her so much. She's obviously ending up in shelters sometimes. And, you know.
Yeah.
Because even when she moves out, she's still with him.
She's a wreck. She's an absolute wreck.
Yeah, she's totally controlled by him. It's a total nightmare. And it's massively in depth in this book. There's a huge amount of this stuff in here. So if anyone's interested, yeah, you better read this.
They do get back together, even though they're divorced. Nicole and OJ start dating again. But then Nicole realizes it's the wrong thing to do. Oh, what? Because he's a terrible person and he treated you badly. So she tries to cool it off again. But then she becomes really aware that somebody is hanging in the bushes at night outside her house and spying on her and creeping through the garden. I mean, this poor woman is terrified. But then anyway, look, we know what happens. In 1994, she gets murdered on her doorstep with a friend of hers, a male friend.
That male friend, because I actually watched a programme just about this whole O.J. Simpson case. That bloke was just a waiter at a restaurant she'd been at that evening, and she'd left her wallet, He said, "Oh, I know where she lives. I live really near, and I walk past her house on the way home, so I'll drop it off." That's all he was.
Wow.
He never gets mentioned. He was just an innocent bloke, young bloke. He never gets mentioned properly. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, they both got stabbed to death on her doorstep.
Oh, it's awful.
And this book, because I watched this program, but she's right on the inside. It's Nicole's mum that phoned her. You're literally reading this from her best friend's perspective. It's so human. It's so devastating and personal.
And then Robert Kardashian is his attorney.
Yeah.
So that family is really divided because Kris is best friends with Nicole. Robert is best friends with OJ. And of course, Kris says, she's very open about it. She says, Nicole and OJ were my friends. It's not just that I have to deal with the fact that Nicole has been murdered. I now have to deal with the fact that one of my good friends is now suspected murderer.
Absolutely. She loved him.
But she's very much Team Nicole, obviously, and Robert is very much Team OJ.
Yeah.
And she says it does get fraught, but they really make this
it's really
pact really for it not to affect their children. And that's where the letters and stuff come into it, right?
Yeah, that's right. I've got to say this right. She says in the book, when Robert phoned her, this is like within the first hour that it was all coming out, she said, "Oh my God, have you heard what's happened?" He said, "Yeah, you see, you better be nicer to me."
Wow.
Right? And I'm like, hang on. That means he knows OJ did it, yeah? So I carried on reading, and then it evolves that he now says that he thinks OJ's innocent because OJ's told him he's innocent. But in that moment when he said that absolutely wouldn't hold up in court. But it implies to me that he knows it was OJ. Yeah. Doesn't it you?
Yeah, and as well, it's kind of like, I mean, I think we all know it was OJ, don't we?
Oh, yeah. But we know it was OJ. If you watch a programme about it, it was OJ. But it's that Robert stood by him right to the end saying, "I believe he's innocent." But in that moment, I don't think he did. And then afterwards, he actually said he had doubts. But he stood by him through the whole period.
Well, OJ needed an attorney, and his best friend was an attorney. And I think that put Robert Kardashian in a very, very difficult position.
Yeah.
And if you're representing somebody in court, you have to believe that they didn't do it, or at least you need to appear publicly to say that they're innocent.
That's right.
Anyway, like we said, OJ's one of the most famous person in America. He has a lot of power. He got away with it. And I also think it would be very hard for Robert Kardashian to actually say, "No, I'm not going to represent you," and to go against OJ because of that institutional power that OJ had.
Yeah, that's absolutely
It would have been
true.
the death of Robert Kardashian's legal career.
That's true.
So I understand why Robert Kardashian did it. But you're right. As soon as it was all over and OJ got found not guilty, he took a lie detector test and it was not conclusive. And then, like you said, he says, "I have doubts." It's just like, oh my God, wow, corruption.
I know, but I mean, it's just a mess. Like they dropped the domestic abuse angle on the defence side. On the
I know.
And you're like, you're joking because that was a time when people didn't listen to that, even though she had in a safety deposit box photos of 17 years of abuse. But then it became a racial thing because he was such a hero. It just became about race, about police tampering with evidence, going after the black man. I understand that completely, but then also the policeman who's arresting him actually was found on tape saying really badly racist things. This was in the programme I watched. And you can't find him guilty. And I think they had tampered with evidence. They knew he did it, but they didn't know how to convict him. So it was a mess. So he had to get off, but he did it. But she says he was shunned by the community and his peers, which is a really worse prison for OJ. But it possibly isn't that bad a prison as prison is.
Well, he's still a free man.
He's still a free man.
Do you know what I mean? He still has his life. Nicole doesn't.
No.
And that young guy doesn't.
No, and so she's telling herself, well, that's still bad, but it isn't bad. He did get away with it and it isn't right.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that. And we've got to move on. But it is a page turner. It's well written in this book. It's very, very interesting.
They say that like Courtney and Kim used to go with Robert to court some days in the O.J. Simpson trial.
Yeah.
It's just like they're like, I don't know, 11 and 13. Why would you let your daughters go to a murder trial like that? It's just...
Yeah, no.
There are certain
But they were like
things...
family. I mean, OJ and Nicole were like family to them. It's horrific.
I know, but they're Courtney and Kim are children. I don't think that's a place...
Yes, they're not protecting
I
them.
think, you know how Kris is kind of not sanitizing the image. She's sanitizing certain things for their family brand. But, there are some telltale things like when... obviously the family are all over the place. And then she flies the kids in. So Chloe and the younger girls are flying in with the grandparents. But Courtney and Kim are flying on their own. And it's the first time they've flown on their own. And they're young, and a bomb had gone off in Atlanta a couple of days before and killed a couple of people. And they're on the plane, unaccompanied, these two young girls, and all of a sudden they start freaking out, saying there's a bomb on board.
Yeah.
So obviously the plane has to divert, and they get them off the plane. And Kris is like, oh, I was mad at them, but I was pleased to see them. It's like, do you not see that this is a massive cry for help from these teenage girls?
Yes.
They're not doing that for the fun of it. They're doing that probably because they've been taken to a murder trial.
Yeah, their brains have been warped. It's early anxiety.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a cry for help, and I don't think that Kris sees. She just sees it as her daughter's playing up.
Yes, yeah,
because
true.
She's got nannies doing everything. You could say she's exploiting them, really, with that reality show. Certainly the younger ones.
Well, you could say that. Because if you Google Robert Kardashian, it said he's an Armenian attorney best known for the O.J. Simpson trial. And so at that point, they all became very famous because it was watched by all of America.
Yeah.
And she was on the Larry King show, the Barbara Walters show, she tells us, being interviewed. You know, they got famous through that. That was their way in. Oh, my God, she's letting Kim date Michael Jackson's nephew, TJ, when she's 13.
Yeah.
And she's really happy about it.
Yeah, but the nephew's also about 13, isn't he?
Yeah, I know. But they're still dating at 13. She's really happy that Kim's got a boyfriend because it's a Jackson kid and they're really famous. You know, that's what I'm thinking anyway.
Yeah.
It's just, she's really seeking the fame, I think. And then, yeah, anyway, a bit later on, Kim is seen out with Paris Hilton. And so that started getting in the tabloids. Sex tape comes out in 2007.
Well, she doesn't mention the sex tape in this book.
She doesn't mention it at all, but what she does say is stuff about Kim starting to get in the tabloids, and whilst you're famous, whilst your 5 minutes in the tabloids is happening, you must exploit it. So people have been talking about this reality TV series. She's like, it has to be now because Kim's getting noticed. So we've got to ride that wave.
She's getting noticed because of the sex tape. In the first
yes, but
season...
she doesn't mention that.
She doesn't mention it in this book, but the first season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they mention it a lot.
Right.
And Kim is getting then noticed by Hugh Hefner and stuff because of this sex tape.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting. I mean, you could almost say it's a catalyst of the Kardashian machine.
It does seem to be, yeah.
And you know what? We read Paris Hilton.
Yes.
And it was a similar thing.
Yes.
In that they were both young, they were both with older people who videoed them, and it was just a short clip, and it got blown up and became a video you could buy at home. Now, Paris Hilton never made a single dollar from her sex tape. They had no control over it. But actually what happened is that the Kardashians, Kris Jenner, got control of the tape. And they made money they went to court and got some of the money that tape made. I think they were able to do that because of what happened to Paris Hilton. It's like they learned from the mistake that Paris Hilton made with her sex video. I don't like calling it a sex tape because I don't believe that Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian made a sex tape. I think they made private videos with their partners at the time and then got exploited.
Yeah, they did. That's exactly what they did. Yeah.
Whereas the Kardashians turned it to their favour. And then, yeah, you're right. Due to the notoriety from that sex tape, that's how... Do you remember the Paris Hilton sex tape came out just before The Simple Life? And it really helped the ratings to that show.
Yeah.
Same things happened with the Kim Kardashian tape. But Kris Jenner does not mention it in this book.
She doesn't.
And I think it's quite an important part of their story, really.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I saw an interview with her where she went as her mother. I was outraged, which isn't fair because I wasn't on her. But then she goes, but as her manager, you know, I saw an opportunity.
Yeah,
she's ruthless. And she sends Kim to Hugh Hefner to be naked in Playboy. And Kim didn't want to do that. She said it's one of her regrets. That's her mother making her go and do Playboy.
Yeah, and in the first season of the show, she takes all three daughters to a photo shoot with Girls Gone Wild, which was a terrible website which exploited women.
Bloody hell.
So I don't know why she's talking down the sex tape in the book, because she positively encouraged them with Playboy and Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, look, I mean, it was a way to massive riches and fame.
Yeah, it was. It's crazy.
Well, in fact, really, because their fame only really exploded with the reality TV show, this book kind of ends as that begins. One thing we haven't mentioned, we're massively running out of time, but Robert Kardashian did die of cancer. And it's so sad because he was so young and those girls were so young to lose their dad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And I think that has definitely affected them, especially Chloe,
Yeah.
the one that looks like Elvis. I think her grief has really messed her up, and I feel for her, that girl.
Yeah, she couldn't process it at all.
But of course, how can you process it when you're being pulled in every single direction by your very ambitious mum?
And there's constantly a camera in your face in your whole life, 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
You can't imagine what that do to you after a while. And everybody knows your business because the whole world is watching it.
I think that we're only just now, 20 years after these reality TV shows hit big, we're only now realising the long-term damage that being on camera your whole life can have. And I think who we need to look at are Kylie and Kendall Jenner.
Yes.
Who were children when this started.
Yeah.
And they're in it a lot. And I just don't think you can consent to that when you're that age.
No,
but
you can't.
Mum has made the decision. She's put her kids on the stage. Hey, is this
It's Gypsy
a
Rose
modern
Lee.
version of vaudeville? Don't put your daughter on the stage.
Made her kids into strippers.
Yes.
Well, it's Gypsy, isn't it?
They are. Kim Kardashian is.
Yeah, that's what her mother was ruthless.
Kris Jenner
Yeah, you're right.
is Gypsy's mum. What's her name? Rose.
Yeah.
Kris Jenner is Rose, and the Kardashians are Gypsy Rose Lee and the sister.
It's modern vaudeville.
It's modern vaudeville.
Oh my God.
Wow. I mean,
Oh
but
my
it
God,
is.
it is.
Like, it is.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Oh my God. My mind's blown.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Thrift Shop Biography. We love making this podcast and we're absolutely thrilled that so many of you are already listening. You could really help us out by leaving us a review somewhere, wherever you listen to this podcast. And if you could share us, tell your friends about us, or drop some links on social media. We have a Facebook page called Thrift Shop Biography, so make sure you come over there to hear about the episodes first and what else we're up to. Okay, see you next week. And if you're new here, there are loads more episodes now to go and listen in the back catalogue, so make sure you go and enjoy them. Okay, thank you very much.